Welcome, you are safe here. There's nothing more to do, no noise to chase, no thoughts to fix. Let your breath slow. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Your fingers loosen, your shoulders melt down, down. Listen to the quiet air around you. It's soft, cool, gentle, outside your window. A breeze moves through the leaves. Hush passes over the earth. Tonight, you are invited to drift. Our story begins now. In a small cottage at the edge of the hills where herbs hang from beams, and an old man waits beside the soft flicker of firelight, waiting for the night to settle just right. Our story begins with a glass, a dream, and a man who once believed he could capture sleep itself. The Alchemist's workshop high in the highlands, where the fog spills between the trees. There stands a crooked cottage wrapped in ivy. Its roof is thick with moss, its windows small and round, like the eyes of a sleepy cat. Inside the cottage, under the soft curve of stone arches, lives an old man named Master Aralen, an alchemist. The room he works in smells of rosemary and a touch of ash. There are herbs drying from every rafter, bundles of lavender, bay leaf, chamomile, mugwort. Each one rustles as the air passes slowly through. There are shelves full of glass bottles and pewter spoons, books with worn leather spines, a clock that drips time slowly, one drop at a time. And in the center of the room is a pedestal made of warm wood, and on it a glass orb. It is clouded slightly, bound with fine silver thread, and tonight it waits to be filled. A medieval belief. Sleep in glass in the ancient world. Some believed that sleep had a shape, a substance, that the air in a sleeping room held tiny threads of dream, invisible but real. And if you took a vessel made of slow-cooled glass and opened it only while someone slept, it could capture that dream air and keep it. Some called it superstition. Others called it quiet science. Aralen simply called it his work. Sleep, visualization. Sitting in the alchemist's room, now imagine you are there inside that workshop, sitting cross-legged on a soft rug near the fire. There's a warm mug in your hands. Steam rising from herbal tea, chamomile, and valerian root, scented just enough to soothe, not enough to overwhelm you. Sip once, and the warmth spreads into your chest. You feel the way the room hums very softly, a living quiet. Outside, the wind brushes against the shutters. Inside, the fire crackles gently, and the glass orb waits for night. Preparing the glass, Aralen stands at the edge of the room. Wearing robes the color of ash and copper, he murmurs to himself, a habit of old men and magicians. He lights a thin strand of dried rosemary, and the smoke rises in a slow spiral. He lifts the orb with both hands. It clinks faintly against the silver ring that holds it. He begins to walk to the back of the room, where a narrow stair curves downward into shadow. You follow him quietly, your footsteps soft against cool stone. The air grows cooler, thicker, softer. The sleeping room. The room below is small and round. A single bed rests against the far wall, pillowed with straw and soft linen. And there, lying beneath a wool blanket, is a sleeping boy. His breath is deep and steady, his arms curled gently beneath his head. He does not stir. Moonlight comes through a narrow window high above, casting a silver line across the bed. Raylan steps forward and opens the top of the glass orb just enough. He holds it above the boy's chest, where the breath rises and falls, slow, soft, rhythmic. The moment of capture. The wind slips gently through the window, brushes past the blanket, past the boy's hair, past the alchemist's hands, and into the mouth of the orb. There is no light, only a flash, only a flash. Our reeling closes the lid. A faint click, then silence. The orb is filled now, not with smoke, not with air, but something between something imagined, something true. He turns and begins to climb the steps once more, carrying the sleeping glass close to his chest. A whisper of sound as his foot touches the last step. The orb makes a soft sound, not a bell, not a chime, more like a breath trapped in a bottle, a hush that hums. He smiles and sets it back on the pedestal where it glows faintly in the candlelight. You return to your seat by the fire. The tea is still warm, the herbs still whisper, and the night is very still. Let your breath follow its rhythm. In and out, you are welcome here. You are safe, you are still. The night deepens outside the cottage. Clouds shift quietly. The moon leans through them like a curious face, and the hills breathe slow under their soft blanket of mist inside. The fire rests in its bed of embers. The room hums with hush. Everything is still. The orb on the pedestal glows faintly. The silver thread that wraps around it seems to twitch. Just once, as if the dream inside has stirred. Aurelin lowers himself into a worn chair by the fire. It creaks softly beneath him. He does not mind. The creaks are familiar. He stares at the glass and remembers a memory. Within the flame years ago, when he was young, he had tried to trap other things in glass. Sunlight, birdsong, the echo of a laugh. But none of them stayed. None of them held. Only sleep had shape. Only dreams lingered. His teacher once told him, "Sleep is the quiet mirror of the soul, and to hold a dream is to hold a part of truth that no one else can see. He did not understand that then, but now, with hair like frost and hands like old leather, he does. You listen across from him. You sit quietly, your tea finished, your breath slow. You feel the warmth of the hearth reach out to you, touching your toes, your knees, your chest. The herbs in the air swirl faintly, and something about the glow in the room makes your eyes grow heavy, not in a way that pulls, but in a way that welcomes. Aurelin looks at you, smiles gently, and speaks. "Would you like to know what dreams look like?" he asks. "When they are caught, what the glass holds." He reaches for the orb, carefully with both hands, as if it were a bubble on the edge of bursting. He brings it close and holds it before you. The surface of the glass fogs for a moment, then clears. Inside there is a shimmer, not a shape, not a face, not a face, but a swirl of soft color. Deep blue, pale, a madder. And with every slow swirl, you feel your body sink deeper into calm. "This one," he says, "is a child's dream, a safe place where the world never asks too much." The study of sleep, he sets the orb down gently and begins to speak softly, as if telling you a secret no one else knows in ancient times. Alchemists believed dreams were messages sent backward from your future self to your present soul. They studied sleep, measured it, mapped it, but only the gentlest among them ever tried to preserve it. He was one of those few, and now, with his hands rested on his knees, he waits beside you as the fire crackles low, and the wind outside begins to hum like a lullaby. A feather falls from one of the rafters above. A single feather comes loose, caught in the night air. It drifts slowly, twirling, spinning, like a thought you nearly forgot. It lands in your lap, soft as breath, light as silence. You do not move, you only watch, and the fire sighs again. Its orange glow now deepening, turning red, then gold, then to quiet shadow, a place between wake and dream. This is the place where stories soften into silence, where names dissolve, where your breath feels like part of the room. You are not quite dreaming. You are resting between. You are resting between. Aurelin rises. He moves to the shelf, takes down a leather-bound book. Old, cracked, filled with empty pages. He dips his quill and begins to write. Not with words, but with a memory of tonight, the moment you sat by the fire. The tea, the feather, the shimmer in the glass. He writes it all, and as he does, the air becomes even stiller, even deeper. The room grows quieter, still, as if even time holds its breath. Aurelien finishes writing, closes the book, and runs his fingers along the spine. He turns to you, his voice softer than before. Would you like to see another dream? He asks you nod, just barely, and so he walks again to the shelves, to a narrow wooden cabinet locked with a curved brass hook. Inside are rows of glass orbs, each cradled in its own velvet-lined nest. Some are clear, some clouded. A few shimmer faintly in the dark. These, he says, are memories no one asked to remember, but could not bear to forget. He lifts one carefully. A small, green-tinted orb, no larger than an apple, and carries it to the table. This one belonged to a sailor, he murmurs, who dreamed of home while lost at sea. The sailor's dream, he unfastens the stopper, and the scent of salt fills the air. Not the harsh bite of ocean spray, but the warm softness of sunlit shorelines, of seafoam and old wood. Inside the orb, you see shapes begin to form waves. A small boat rocking gently, and a child's voice calling in the distance. Aurelien watches with calm eyes. He doesn't explain. He doesn't interrupt. He knows dreams are not meant to be explained, only witnessed and felt. You close your eyes and listen. The boat rocks slowly. The water glistens, and somewhere a bell tolls gently in the mist. You breathe it in, and the sound stays with you. Letting go, Aurelien seals the orb again, and the dream fades like smoke drawn back into air. He places the glass gently onto a cloth, tucks it away, and turns back to you. Not all dreams are joyful. You sit in silence. You sit in silence, feeling the echo of that memory, like a shell still warm from sun. The fire is lower now. The herbs no longer move, but the quiet in the room has a weight to it, soft, safe. Settled, what dream will you leave behind? Aurelien smiles and asks you, would you like to leave one of your own? The question lands gently, like snow on a window pane. He gestures to the empty book, to the shelf of waiting glass, and you understand you do not need to speak it. You only need to remember it, a moment, a feeling, a quiet that once held you. He takes a new glass from the drawer, polished, clear, cool to the touch. He holds it out to you and waits you take it with steady hands and breathe into it once the breath is warm. Still, whole Aurelien seals the top and sets it beside the fire, where it will cool slowly and sleep inside. The room settles again. You rest your hands on your lap, feeling the warmth of the glass lingering in your palms. Even though it now rests near the hearth, the flicker of the fire touches its surface, sending small glints of gold across the wood-grain walls. Aurelien watches the glass, then looks to you and smiles softly. There is more to this night, he says. More than waiting, more than watching. Tonight is when the veil is thinnest, when silence listens back. He stands slowly, as if rising through a memory, and walks toward a tall, narrow cupboard with a key around his neck. The chest of unfinished sleep from the cupboard. He removes a wooden box. Its edges are carved with runes worn smooth from use. He sets it on the table. The hinges creak gently. And when he opens it, you see stacks of folded linen, pieces of parchment, and beneath them 5 orbs that do not glow. They are still muted heavy. These, Aurelian says, are dreams that could not finish. Interrupted or forgotten, he lifts one carefully and places it on the table between you. It's darker than the others. Almost like smoke inside has turned to ash. He speaks softly. A child once had this dream, but woke up crying before it could unfold. He never dreamed it again. You watch the orb. You lean closer, your breath calm, your eyelids heavy inside. You see no color, only slow swirling shadows like fog moving across forgotten streets. There's no fear in the orb, only a sense of waiting, of a story that paused, but never closed. Aurelian closes his eyes and places both hands on either side of the orb. He does not speak, he only breathes. You match his breath and hold out. The shadows begin to shift. Very faintly, a flicker of soft blue begins to form. He opens his eyes and whispers, "Sometimes it takes 2 people to finish a dream." The soft blue inside the orb begins to curl, a ribbon of light stretching through the fog, slowly, carefully, as if testing the shape of its own memory. Aurelian watches, then he speaks again, this time not to you, but to the dream. "Welcome back," he says, his voice low and steady. "Let us carry you through the rest." You sit quietly, letting your breath follow the rhythm of the room. Everything is soft. Nothing is rushed. The dream flickers, and for just a moment, you see the outline of a tree, tall, thin, with leaves shaped like falling stars. Then the vision softens and fades again into blue. But something has changed. The heaviness is gone. The dream feels lighter, grateful, as if it knows it has been seen. A place for all dreams. Aurelian gently seals the orb and places it in a different box. This one lined with velvet dusk. He closes the lid and speaks softly. Some dreams must wait for the right night, the right listener, the right kind of quiet. He turns toward the fire. And so do you, watching the last coals flicker with sleepy light. You begin to drift. Your breath slows again. The chair beneath you cradles you like a memory. Your arms feel light, your shoulders soft, your head a little heavier. You are still here, but also a little farther away. Aurelin doesn't move. He simply rests beside you. The silence between you is kind and deep. Let your eyes grow heavier now. Let your thoughts float like ink in warm water. Let go. You are safe here. You are seen. You are remembered. A story hidden in stone. Aurelin reaches into the dirt and pulls out a small stone oval, smooth, dark. He wipes it gently with a cloth from his robe and holds it to your ear. Listen. He whispers, you do, and you hear something, not a voice exactly, but a feeling. Like the memory of running through tall grass, of laughter, of a day long gone, but not lost. This stone, he says, is placed here by a child 200 years ago. She believed the stone would grow into a tree that whispered stories, and in a way it did, because tonight that story is whispering to you. Letting the stillness in the wind curls around your shoulders, soft, tender, and lavender, and something older. Like parchment, warmed by sun, you feel your muscles loosen, your breath stretch longer, the backs of your eyelids hum with soft colors. You are not tired, you are resting. There is a difference. Aurelin stands and offers you his hand. Let us finish the circle, he says. You walk with him, step by slow step. Around the lantern, then around the garden, a spiral path, inward, toward the center of calm. Returning inward, at the heart of the spiral, he stops. He asks you to place your hand over your heart and close your eyes. You feel the beat. Steady present, he places his hand gently over yours. Feel that he says, that is your light, no one else's. It cannot be trapped in glass or written in books, but it can guide dreams, and it can bring peace. You stand in stillness, together. One, then two. Then, as long as the stars need, then slowly you return to the cottage. The night deepens. The hearth is low, but not gone. Its glow hums against the stone. The orb you breathed into earlier now rests on a cloth of pale velvet. It is cooling, still, listening. Aurelin speaks once more. Tonight has given rest to many things. The glass, the garden, the stars, even your thoughts. Let them rest. Now, let them sleep in silver light. Aurelin places a blanket around your shoulders, woven from soft wool and something finer, something like memory. It smells faintly of lavender, of books stored in sunlit corners, of time well kept. The blanket is heavy in the way good blankets are, a weight that does not press, but comforts. He sits across from you, now his eyes catching the firelight, calm, knowing there is more he could show. But he chooses silence because silence is a gift. And tonight you have received many. You sip from the tea, again, now cooler. Its taste even rounder. As if the cup has learned your rhythm, you run your fingers over the carved table, noticing the symbols, waves, moons, eyes that never blink. Each one has its story, but those stories do not rise now. They sleep, and you let them. The air around you seems to shimmer. As if time itself has thinned, you are not far from the world, but you are deeper in it, like a root, like a stone under moss. The closing of the book, Aurelin finally rises and walks to a wooden chest. In the corner, he opens it with care. The hinges creak like a whisper from an old friend. Inside, velvet-trapped books, sealed scrolls, and tiny vials of color. He removes one book bound in dark green leather and sets it before you. This book, he says, is not for reading, it is for resting already. He places the book on the table between you and the candle. Its presence is enough drifting into the next chapter. Outside, the stars have shifted. The moon now sits lower. Its light richer, more golden than silver. The breeze returns, cool and round. It tugs gently at the edge of your sleeve, as if reminding you that the dream is ready. Aurelin offers you a place to rest, a low bed beneath the window, and a single feather-stuffed pillow. You lie down, pulling the blanket close, and feel everything you've gathered tonight begin to soften, to settle. Aurelin dims the lantern and speaks once more. You are the dream and the dreamer. You are the glass and the night. Rest well. In the softest corner of your mind, a door begins to open. Not one you've seen before, but one that feels familiar, like a lullaby you forgot you knew. Behind that door, the garden still lives, but it is changed. It is larger, wider, bathed in the pale shimmer of a dreaming sky. You step into it without moving your body, as if your breath has become your feet, and your thoughts, the wind, the herbs, sway gently, whispering in voices made of scent, chamomile, lemon balm, night, jasmine. Each plant glows faintly, not with light, but with presence, as though they are remembering their purpose and offering it to you. You walk toward the fountain at the center, a place you have never seen, yet somehow recognize it is made of smooth stone, mossy and rounded, and at its center floats a single silver leaf. The water is still, but not stagnant. It hums beneath the surface, a tone you feel in your ribs. You kneel beside it and look into the reflection, but you do not see your face. You see a dream unfolding slowly, like parchment touched by warmth. In it, you are not alone, but surrounded by some near, some distant, some perhaps not yet met. They are not speaking, but they are with you, and that is enough. You let the image remain, not holding it too tight, just resting in its presence as one might rest beside a gentle stream the breath of glass somewhere in the distance. You hear a soft clink, the sound of glass cooling, of a shape being sealed. The orb on the table beside you responds to your breath. To your dreaming, it shifts slightly, gathers the night around it, and holds it close. Like a guardian of your quiet Aurelin, still sits in silence. But you sense he is smiling, not with his mouth, but with his whole being. He has guided many through this hour, but each time it is sacred, and tonight it was you. The dream route path, you begin to feel weightless, your thoughts moving like leaves on water, not needing to go anywhere, only to float. Beneath your resting body, the floor holds you gently, as if the wood itself remembers your steps and wishes you peace. Somewhere in the cottage, a bell rings, once low and clear. Like the call of a distant lighthouse, it is not a signal to rise, but to surrender. Aurelin stands once more, just once, and places a final sprig of dried root on the hearth. Dream root, he called it once, a plant that does not sleep, but watches sleep as it grows. Its scent drifts up, woody, ancient, a breath of something from long ago. You inhale and feel your entire body settle, as if every cell has decided, yes, now is the time. The sleepward gate, the last thing you see before your eyes close for the night, is the orb's faint shimmer, the candle's last flicker, and the steady warmth of the hearth's glow. You feel wrapped in stories, not just this one, but many stories you have lived. Stories you have heard, stories you have yet to find. They nestle around you, tucking you in more deeply than any blanket. And just before sleep fully takes you, you hear Aurelin's voice again. Only once, but clear. You are safe, you are welcome, you are enough. Let sleep hold you now. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts drift. Let yourself rest in the glass of dreams. Let yourself sink even deeper. Now let the soft breath of the world hold you gently. There is nothing else to do, no other time to be in. Only this slow unfolding. The sun has lifted gently over the distant trees, casting golden light across the garden walls. The world is warm, but not awake. You are floating just beneath it, cradled in the hush between dawn and day. The old alchemist has wandered outside, his footsteps barely heard against the soft moss-covered stones. He carries nothing with him, no flask, no scroll, no weight at all. This is the garden he planted when he was still learning. Long before the sleeping glass, before the dreams began to whisper back, each plant here knows his hands lavender with soft gray breath, chamomile bending toward the east, sweet woodruff curling at his feet like a gentle cat. He walks the spiral path at the garden's center, the one that winds toward the stone basin, where cool water waits without ripple. Here he pauses, listens. Birdsong rises like incense, not sharp, not rushed, just notes, floating in the golden air. You walk with him now, not behind him, but beside him, as if your breath and his have matched without needing to try. He kneels, traces one long finger through the water. The ripples reach the edge of the basin, then come back, a circle folding into itself like sleep returning to the body. The alchemist's voice is barely above a sigh. Some believe water remembers. You don't need to ask who he's speaking to, because he's speaking to you. He dips an old wooden ladle into the water, pours it slowly into a small clay bowl. Resting nearby, steam curls up from it, even though the water is cool. You sit beside him. Now you can feel the smooth stone beneath you, still damp from the morning dew. You lean your head back, and the clouds above drift like thoughts leaving your mind. You hear the rustle of leaves above. Feel the warm pulse of the sun across your chest. Everything here has slowed, even time. Even thought. The alchemist hands you the bowl. You accept it without hesitation. Its weight is real, but gentle like trust. As you hold it, the surface of the water stills completely. It becomes a mirror, not of your face, but of your rest. The steam no longer rises. It waits, as if listening to you breathe. Every dream is a seed. The alchemist murmurs, planted in silence, watered in night. Grown in the warmth of letting go, you sip not because you need to, but because it feels like the right thing. The water tastes like sleet, with a note of old memories. You can't quite name the warmth's spreads, not just in your body, but around it. A gentle heat wrapping your spine, settling across your shoulders. The alchemist does not rise. He simply leans back against the mossy wall and closes his eyes. You follow him, letting your back rest against the cool stone, letting your eyelids drift downward like petals returning to the earth. The garden continues without you, but you are still part of it. Your breath becomes the wind between the leaves. Your heart, a rhythm in the roots. A bee hums nearby, drawn not to sound, but to stillness. It floats, hovers, then moves. On the bowl in your lap is empty, yet it feels full of rest, of memory, of something unspoken and perfectly understood. The alchemist speaks once more, a whisper, so faint you almost don't hear it. Some gardens are not meant to be seen, only remembered. And with that, you close your eyes, fully letting the stillness inside match the stillness outside. You are no longer watching the garden. You are dreaming it from the inside. The lavender breathes, the chamomile rocks, the sweet woodruff sighs, and you are part of it all, not observing, becoming. Softly, slowly, let the world fall away. Let your shoulders drop, Let your breath arrive like a wave that has nowhere else to be. You are not arriving. You are still in the garden. But something has changed. You are no longer sitting, no longer leaning. You are lying back now, cradled in a bed of herbs that smell like night and quiet hope. The alchemist is gone, not lost, just elsewhere. And yet, do not feel alone. The vines above you have grown thicker. They stretch across wooden beams, forming a ceiling of green and gold. Sunlight filters through them in threads, each beam of light a soft brush upon your cheek. You blink slowly, but not to wake, only to shift the dream. Somewhere nearby, a wind chime sings in tones you cannot name, low, round, comforting, might make. If it could speak, you hear footsteps again, not heavy, not rushed, just soft measured. They belong to someone else, now, not the alchemist, but a younger one, a boy, perhaps wearing robes too long for his limbs. He carries a basket of flowers, and he's humming a tune that loops without ending. You realize he doesn't see you, and that's all right. You are not meant to be seen. You are meant to be here. As he walks past, the petals in his basket shift slightly, and a single bloom tumbles loose. It rolls gently to your side. A moon-pale blossom with violet veins. You pick it up, hold it in your palm, and suddenly you remember something that later happened a night when the alchemist whispered to the glass. When the sleeping globe had not yet cooled, and dreams still swirled like fog within it, he told it that the softest things in the world are the ones that shape us like wind, like time, like time, like love. You close your fingers around the blossom, feel it disappear like mist, but not gone. Just absorbed, the boy continues on his tune, growing fainter, his footsteps parting the grass. Still, the garden hums. Still the vines cradle you above your head. A single droplet of dew slips from a leaf and lands on your forehead. Cool. Perfect, blessed you sigh deep and full, like someone who has finished a long, sweet song. And now the vines begin to sway, but not from wind, from breath. The whole garden is breathing with you, in out, slow and gentle. Like a story that doesn't need to end, you realize your hands are no longer empty. In one palm, the memory of the blossom, in the other, the echo of the bowl, and between them, a stillness so complete it feels like peace has finally arrived, not as a visitor, but as a home. You hear a rustle nearby, and then a soft clink, not sharp, not sudden, just the familiar sound of glass meeting stone. Your eyes remain closed, but inside your mind, you see it clearly, the sleeping glass. Resting now at the center of the spiral path, its surface no longer swirling, but calm, holding the reflection of the sky. It has cooled completely, and in that cooling, something sacred has settled. The glass has not captured sleep, it has learned to reflect it, and now so have you. The vines above you darken just slightly. A cloud has passed across the sun, but you are not cold. You are not lost. You are wrapped in something older than comfort. You are wrapped in belonging. Your heartbeat slows, as if it is matching the rhythm of the earth itself. And then one last sound. A featherlight tap. The boy has returned. He sets the glass beside your resting body, not touching you, not waking you, just completing the circle. He places one final herb beneath it, one that smells like dreamwood and silence. And as he steps away, you feel a shift, not in the world, but in yourself. You have become a keeper of the stillness, and the guard in your breath, and the sleeping glass will remember you forever. Let yourself return to stillness now. Let the hush beneath the hush become your home again. You are no longer on the garden bench, and yet you have not moved. You lie now in a quiet room, one you do not remember entering, but which welcomes you as if you've always belonged. Its ceiling is arched with timber, dark wood, softened by time. The scent of cedar and lavender fills the air, thick and warm, like pages turning in a book that only opens when you are ready. There are no windows, but light still fills the space. It flows from small niches carved into the walls, where candles burn low and steady. Their flames do not flicker, they do not rush, they simply exist bright and patient. A bell chimes once, low and round, so gentle it could be your own breath echoing back to you, and then again a second chime, a tone deeper than the first, as if the building itself were exhaling. This is the hour of quiet bells, the hour when the mind no longer tries, when the body is not asked to move, when thought becomes mist, becomes rest. You are lying on a bed of soft moss. Though you are indoors, it grows from the floor, untroubled by stone, comfortable with mystery. Your limbs are weightless, as if someone has gently taken your tension and placed it aside, wrapped it in cloth, set it on a shelf to rest until morning. The third bell rings. This one is softest of all. It comes not from above, but from within, a chime that begins in your chest and ripples outward. And now a voice you remember, not Aurelian's, but the voice of the first alchemist, the one who shaped the glass. You have not met them, but you know them the same way you know how rain smells before it falls, or how your heartbeat slows when you hear waves. The voice speaks gently, as if it knows you are half asleep. I did not make the glass to hold sleep. It says, I made it to teach sleep how to come to us. You feel the meaning not in words, but in weight. The kind that softens the spine, loosens the jaw, releases the curl of your fingers. The room begins to shift. Now, not physically, but through sensation, the candles glow a little warmer. The moss beneath you thickens. As if lifting to hold you better, another bell chimes fainter than before. It seems to come from somewhere behind your eyes where dreams begin. You feel it ring through your ribs. You are becoming part of the sound. A tone within the tone, a hush within the hush. A single vine grows down from the timber bird ceiling. It carries a glass orb at its end. Not the sleeping glass, but its twin. A vessel that holds not air, but the silence between breaths. It hangs just above your chest, not touching, just waiting. You close your eyes again, not to sleep, but to listen to the orb, to the room, to yourself. The vine sways slightly. You feel no wind, only movement, as if time itself were turning the page. You remember something from the garden, from the blossom in your palm. You remember that silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of understanding. And here, in this room, you are understood. The orb sways again, and a single drop of light falls from it. It touches your chest, right where your heart rests. It doesn't burn, it doesn't chill, it simply lands and becomes part of you. You take a deeper breath, not because you need air, but because the world feels soft enough to receive it. The hour of quiet bells continues, no longer marked by time, but by peace. The room seems to sigh with you, as if it too has been waiting to exhale. You are not alone here, not ever, even when your eyes are closed, even when your thoughts dissolve. You are accompanied by stillness, by care, by quiet observation. The orb above you shimmers one final time, then rests, and you rest with it suspended between memory and dream, between breath and sleep. No more bells, now just the feeling that one might ring again someday when you need to return. But for now, you are already where you belong, in this quiet room, in this hour of hush. You are safe, and the sleep that finds you now is the kind that listens, that lingers, that loves. Sleep that flows like warm glass, formed in the dark, held in the light. Slow your breath just a little more. Let the quiet find its way to your fingertips. You are safe here, and you are still. The quiet room with its mossy floor and candlelit arches has faded now, not vanished. You are standing now, but not fully awake. You move, not with effort, but with permission, as though the air itself is lifting your limbs. You are somewhere older than the room, older than the garden, older even than the alchemist's first breath. You stand in a vast hallway made of smooth white stone. Its arches rise high into shadow, and between the stone columns hang curtains of silver thread. They move without wind, swaying gently, as if they are listening to music you cannot hear. The floor beneath you is cool, but it does not chill. It comforts like cold water after long sun. Each step you take makes no sound, but your presence is known. The silver curtains lean slightly as you pass, recognizing you, honoring you, welcoming you at the end of the hall. There is a circular chamber, its domed ceiling open to the night sky. The stars above are brighter than usual, so close. You could almost speak to them. In the center of the room, on a pedestal of pale stone, sits the sleeping glass. But it is no longer empty. No longer swirling, it holds the full reflection of the moon, perfect and round silver, glowing inside the orb. A mirror of the sky above, captured without effort, held without weight. The old alchemist stands nearby his robe, dark, his hands quiet. He does not look at the glass. He looks at you. His smile does not ask. It assures you've seen it. He says softly, like a breath-forming shape, you step closer. Not because you are told to, but because the moon in the glass calls to you, not with stillness. The light inside it is not trapped. It is not trapped. It dances, moves, slowly turns like a soft current beneath the surface. The alchemist lifts one hand, points to the reflection long ago. He whispers, they believed that the moon could pull the tides of the soul, that it could rock the waters of our sleep. You nod, though you do not fully understand. You feel the truth, not in logic, but in longing. You reach toward the orb, but do not touch you. Simply let your hand hover near it. And as you do, the glow inside intensifies, not brighter, but deeper like silver, becoming breath, then something unexpected. The surface of the orb ripples just once, and in that moment you see yourself, not your reflection, but your dreaming self, the one that walks gardens, the one that listens with closed eyes, the one that knows how to rest. The alchemist speaks again, his voice now lower, the kind of voice that settles into your spine. The glass was never meant to trap sleep, only to remember it, so that you could too. The orb pulses, soft, slow, and you feel your heartbeat shift to match. You are not just beside the sleeping glass. You are inside it, or perhaps it is inside you. The silver threads hanging from the arches above begin to shimmer, each one catching the moonlight like a soft sigh. They do not tangle, they do not tear, they simply flow. You watch them, and as you do, you feel a warmth behind your eyes, not heat, but emotion. the gentle kind, the kind that doesn't ask to be named. You close your eyes now, because the world within is glowing. The moon still shines in the orb, but it also shines behind your eyelids. In patterns, in pulses, you feel your chest rise, fall, rise, again. There is no need to speak, to hold. There is only being. The alchemist's voice reaches you one final time, not from outside, but from within. Sleep is not something we fall into. It is something we return to again and again, like the moon returning to full-like breath, finding the body, like light touching glass. And with that, the chamber fades, the orb softens, and you find yourself somewhere even deeper, even quieter, even safer, where the moon is not just in the sky, but in you, where sleep no longer needs to be invited, because it is already here. Rest now, breathing gently now. Let your thoughts move like paper through still air. You are not rushing. You are remembering. The moon has quieted. The silver light has folded back into the sky, and you are walking again, but not on stone. Not in the garden. This path is different. You step forward onto a floor of polished wood, worn smooth by centuries of footsteps taken slowly. There is no dust here, only silence, a deep and knowing kind. You have entered a library, not one built for study, but for sleep. The shelves are taller than trees carved from dark timber. Each one holds scrolls and books wrapped in soft cloth. None of them locked. None of them locked. A warm breeze moves between the stacks, as though the air itself were turning the pages. You pause beside a narrow table. Upon it sits a single open book. Its pages are blank, and yet you feel its story pressing gently into your chest. Your fingers move to the parchment, and as they hover, words begin to form, not written in ink, but in feeling. You read without seeing it. Is your name not spoken aloud, but understood? This book remembers you, not your waking life, but the parts of you that wander when the world grows still. You close the cover gently, the leather soft and familiar, and continue down the endless row. The breeze lifts again, bringing with it a soft scent of wild thyme and chamomile. Like the garden, but older, more forgotten, you follow the scent, and it guides you to a spiral stair, winding up, or maybe down. You cannot tell, but you step onto it and begin to move. Each step feels like a breath. Each turn a heartbeat, and then the stair ends, not with a doorway, but with a whisper. You have entered the inner chamber. It is small, circular, lined with drawers, not drawers made of wood, but of woven thread and linen, as though each one were meant to hold something soft. You open the nearest one. Inside, a single glass orb, smaller than the Alchemist's, but still glowing, still alive. It holds wind, a breeze from long ago, captured in stillness, waiting to be remembered. You lift it, and the glass hums gently in your palm. You hold it to your ear, and hear not voices, but places, mountains, fields. A child's laughter in a courtyard long gone. Each orb in this chamber holds a forgotten wind. A moment lost to the waking world, but kept safe here. You replace the orb gently and open another. This one holds the scent of sea salt and the call of gulls. The breeze that lives in its center carries you to a quiet shore, where footprints vanish with each incoming tide. You do not need to walk there. The memory walks to you, and with each orb you open, a new layer of yourself unfolds. The part that smiled without reason, the part that rested under trees for no purpose but joy, the part that believed the wind carried secrets meant only for you. These are the winds that shape dreams, the currents beneath the surface of sleep. And now you are swimming in them. The room darkens slightly, not with night, but with closeness, as if the library has leaned in to hold you. You sit on a cushion of woven reeds. The orbs glimmer softly around you, and in the quiet hum of their presence, you begin to remember how it felt to be light. Not light as in brightness, but light as in unburdened. You do not need to hold these memories. They are holding you. You close your eyes, and the winds begin to swirl gently, not to disturb you, but to wrap around your shoulders like a shawl. Soft, protective, ancient, a soft bell chimes somewhere far above or deep within. The same tone you heard in the garden and again in the glass. It tells you not to move, not to wake, but to let go more deeply. You rest your head against the shelf behind you, and the breath of forgotten winds fills your chest. You are a part of this place now, not a visitor, but a keeper. And the sleep that finds you here is older than time woven, with whispers folded into silk, carried gently by the wind. You do not dream. You remember. Let your breath soften. Let the light around you dim into gold. You are not leaving the dream. You are walking deeper inside it. The library is behind you now. Not closed, not forgotten, simply resting where you last breathed. It in now you find yourself on a path paved with river stone. Smooth, round, glistening faintly as though kissed by the memory of rain, but a soft indigo, lit by 1,000 floating lanterns. Each one moves gently, carried not by string, but by thought. They are not candles, they are not flames, they are pieces of dreamlight. Q lifted into the air to keep the night company. You walk slowly beneath them, feeling their glow on your cheeks. Their quiet weightlessness easing the heaviness in your shoulders. There are others walking to nod beside you, not far away. Just silhouettes in the distance, each one with a lantern, following gently behind or above or near their hands. No one speaks here. No one needs to. The air is filled with a sound of calm. You pass a tree, old and bowed, its bark soft as velvet and resting at its base. An old man with lantern in his lap. He holds a lantern in his lap, not made of glass, but of folded leaves, and it glows from within. As if remembering something he never said aloud, he looks up as you pass. Not surprised, not expectant, only kind. You nod, and he smiles. The kind of smile that only people who've stopped asking for anything can offer you. Keep walking. Each step leads you further down a slope. Not steep, not hurried, just the kind of descent that feels natural, like the body giving in to rest to your left. A narrow stream flows without sound, lit by the lanterns floating just above its surface. To your right, a line of carved stones, each marked with a single word. Not in any language you've learned, but in one you seem to understand tonight. Peace, quiet, drift home. You read them slowly, with your feet, with your breath. Then you reach the vault, an opening carved into the side of the earth. Framed by ivy and glowing moss, you pause, not because you are afraid, but because something inside you recognizes this place. You've never seen it before, but it has waited for you. The lantern above your shoulder dips. As if giving permission, you step inside. The tunnel curves. Cool air wraps around your arms like a shawl. Not cold, not empty, just present. The floor is soft earth pressed smooth by bare feet, long gone. The walls shimmer faintly as though the roots themselves. Then the passage widens. Then the passage widens, and you enter the vault, a great domed chamber filled from floor to ceiling with lanterns. Some float. Some rest in cradles of crystal. Some hang from silver threads, spun between arching roots, each one different, each one glowing with a softness that invites you to listen. Not with ears, but with stillness, you step forward, and one lantern glows a little brighter. It floats gently toward you, spinning slowly, like a leaf on wind. Inside it, you see something strange and beautiful, yourself as a child, sleeping beneath a tree. One hand curled beside your cheek, the other holding a leaf. You don't remember this moment, and yet it is yours. A memory kept not by your mind, but by your soul. The lantern hovers closer, and you lift your hands without thinking. It comes to rest in your palms, lighter than breath, warmer than skin. You close your eyes, and the vision holds you. The bark beneath your back, the breeze playing with your hair, the slow beat of your resting heart. Then you open your eyes. The lantern drifts back upward, taking the image with it, but leaving the feeling behind. Soft, whole, unbroken, you breathe, and the vault breathes with you. Every light around you pulses. As if echoing your heart's rhythm, you understand now. These lanterns hold moments of sleep, elected, protected, loved, not forgotten, never lost. And yours is among them now. A tiny flame, steady still, you sit on the cool earth. Letting your weight settle, letting your breath anchor above you. The lanterns turn slowly, their glow weaving stories across the ceiling, and you are part of them now. A whisper in the light, a rest in the song, a dream that chose to stay. Take a slow breath and hold it gently, and let it fall like a petal upon the earth. You remain in a vault, still seated, still surrounded by the glow of floating lanterns. But the air begins to change. Not colder, not warmer, just older, as though the dream itself has turned a page, and the next chapter has begun to unfold. You feel it first in your chest, a sensation like your name being spoken, but not aloud, not in sound. Only in awareness you rise slowly, not because you must, but because something has shifted and your heart leans toward it. The lanterns above you part, creating a path of light leading to a small door carved into the side of the chamber, rounded at the top, framed by ivy that glows silver, and the door opens before you touch it. And the door opens before you touch it. Inside, a single room, circular, quiet still. At its center sits a figure robed in midnight blue, threaded with stars. You cannot see their face, only the softness of their hands. Folded calmly in their lap, their breathing is deep and unhurried, like the tide beneath a sleeping ocean. This is the keeper of quiet names. They do not speak, but as you enter, you feel your own name settle deeper into your body. Not the name others call you, but the name your dreams whisper when you sleep. The name made of silence and breath and memory. The keeper lifts one hand and gestures to a bowl beside them. It is filled with slips of parchment, each folded, each sealed with a drop of wax. You kneel beside it without needing to ask. You reach inside, and your fingers find one slip that feels familiar. The wax seal melts as you touch it, and the parchment opens itself. No ink, just warmth, just a word that you do not need to read. Because you already know what it says. It is the word your soul made before your body ever formed. The word that has no letters, no language, only feeling. You press the slip to your chest and feel your shoulders release again. The keeper watches silent, still present. They do not need to explain. Their purpose is not to teach, but to remind. And now you remember. There is a reason you've come this far. A reason you've passed through the garden, the glass, the winds, the vault. You are not just a dreamer here. You are part of the dream itself. The keeper lifts their hand again, and with a motion as light as breath, they draw a line through the air. A shimmering thread appears suspended before you, glowing gently, and at its center, a single shape, a sigil. It pulses with quiet knowing, and you recognize it. Though you've never seen it before, it is the symbol of your rest, the mark your spirit leaves when you sleep fully, when you surrender completely without fear. The keeper presses their hands together, and the thread disappears. But the feeling remains. They bow their head, and you bow yours, a quiet blessing exchanged without words. Then the room begins to soften. Not vanish, just fade gently into hush, and you find yourself once again walking, not out of the vault, but deeper still, a hallway now lined with paper lanterns, each one carrying a single glowing name, the names of those who have rested here before you, and those still to come. You walk past them, reading them not with eyes, but with heart, each name a lullaby, each glow a breath, each step a blessing, and finally you stop, because you do not need to walk further. Not now, not yet. You've arrived. For this night, this moment, you sit, and the world cradles you. The keeper remains, somewhere behind the veil, holding your name, until you are ready to return. And tonight, you are not. You are here, with your breath, with your stillness, with your name, safe seen, silent. Let your shoulders fall just a little more. Let the time around you melt like candle wax. You are not being measured here. You are only being held. You are seated once more, but now in a room filled with clocks, not ticking loudly, not commanding attention, just resting, breathing with you. The walls are circular stone and velvet woven together like old memory, and all around on shelves in alcoves, hanging from silken threads above, are clocks of every shape and kind, hourglasses, turned sideways pocket watches, sleeping in wooden cradles, sundials casting no shadow at all. Each one holds time, but none of them use it. Here time is not kept. It is released. You rise slowly, your feet soft upon the worn floor. A cushion's guides you toward the center, where a great-grandfather clock stands still, its pendulum unmoving, its hands pointed not at hours, but at silence. You feel no urgency, no ticking, no passing, only presence. Each clock around you tells the story of a night when breath became enough, when the rush of day surrendered to the rhythm of sleep. You pause beside a tall brass clock. Its face is open, its gears exposed, but they do not turn. Instead, they pulse gently, with light as if reminding you that some hearts do not need to beat quickly to be alive. You place your hand against the glass, cool, smooth, and feel your own heartbeat slow to match. Thump, pause, thump like waves touching shore. You turn slowly, and your eyes fall upon a mantel clock carved with symbols you don't recognize, yet somehow feel familiar. A bird with closed wings, a tree with no leaves, a moon that holds a key. You kneel, and the clock opens. Not like a door, but like a memory inside a room, from your childhood, dimly lit, smelling of books. Just so, a window slightly cracked, a breath of wind whispering against the glass. You feel your younger self nearby, not as a memory, but as a companion. Still resting there, still breathing that night air. You close the clock gently, and the memory remains. Not in your mind, but in your breath. You continue through the room, past clocks with no numbers, no faces, just glowing stones where hands once were. Each one seems to whisper, "You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly where you should be." You come to the final wall, where only one clock hangs. It is made of dark wood and carries no design, just a single word carved at its base. Still, you reach up, touch the frame, and the room answers. The clocks softens. The clocks dim not into calm. The sound of ticking returns, now but only faintly and from within. Your own heartbeat, your own breath, the time of your body, not the world you sit beneath. The final clock, letting your spine soften, letting your legs fold beneath you, letting your thoughts unravel like spools of silk above you. The pendulum begins to move, slow, silent, steady. It is not counting down, it is rocking you gently, side to side, like a cradle, like the breath of a breeze. Like sleep, finding your hands and curling into them, you feel warmth spread behind your eyes. Not sleep yet, but the comfort that comes before it. You are not watching time. Time is watching you, smiling softly, whispering, "Well done," and you believe it, because in this room you do not grasp, you simply rest. The clocks do not age, they do not measure, they do not remind, they remember. They remember all the moments when you let go, when you gave yourself the gift of quiet, of breath, of being. And now you give it again. This minute, this stillness, this sleep, you close your eyes and the pendulum swings once more, softly, safely. Let your hands relax in your lap. Let your breath feel like wind through tall grass. This is not a destination. It is an unfolding. The door to the room of resting clocks is behind you. Now you do not remember walking through it, only that you are somewhere new. A hush of green, of space, of open air. You are standing at the edge of a meadow, and it is twilight. The sky above is dusky, lavender, flecked with soft stars. Too early to shine brightly, but just bold enough to begin. The meadow sways, not from wind, but from memory. Each blade of grass seems to move with purpose. Not hurried, not waiting, just drifting. You step forward, and the earth beneath your feet welcomes you, soft, cool, still holding the heat of the vanished sun. In the distance, you see glowing orbs hovering just above the ground. They flicker not like fire, but like sighs. You walk toward them, and as you near, you see that each orb holds a scene. Not quite a dream, not quite a thought, but something in between. You pass one gently glowing orb inside it. A painter sits before a blank canvas, brush poised, not fearful, just wondering. Next, an unfinished song, a single violin note stretching into stillness, never resolved, never broken. Another holds a house, half built, its frame strong, its roof missing, its door waiting. These are the unfinished dreams left behind. Not in failure, but in kindness. They were never rushed. They were never forced. They were paused lovingly for rest. You walk deeper into the meadow, and with every step you feel lighter. The worries that once curled around your shoulders begin to loosen, begin to drop like petals from a fading bloom. You pause beside an orb that flickers with something familiar. Inside it, you see yourself. Not as you are, not as you were, but as you once hoped to be, sitting beneath a willow tree, sketching something with your fingertip in the dirt. Smiling, quietly, completely. This dream had no goal, no end. It was only a feeling, and here it is, kept safe in the meadow, where no dream ever disappears, only rests. You sit down among the glowing orbs, and the tall grass bends to cushion you. You lean back, supported by the earth, watched over by stars. A breeze moves through the meadow, cool, gentle, carrying no urgency, only reminders. You do not need to finish everything. Some dreams are here to rest with you, not ahead of you. Not behind, beside. One orb floats gently toward your hands. You do not grasp it, you let it arrive. Inside, a half-written letter, words crossed out, paused in mid-sentence. Still meaningful, you smile, and the orb glows brighter, then rises again, joining the others above you. Now the stars deepen. The sky darkens, but not into night. Into velvet, you lie back, eyes open, heart open, and the meadow breathes gently. None of them forgotten. None of them forgotten. None of them lost. Just resting like you. You feel your eyelids grow heavier, not from weariness, but from comfort. This place does not pull you, it cradles you. And in the hush between one breath and the next, you let go of what was of what might be and fall into what is. Now, hear soft, still, the dreams around you continue to flicker. But you no longer need to watch them. They will keep, they will wait. Tonight, you are the dream that is finishing itself. Not with answers, but with rest. Let your mind feel like warm silk, unfolding. Let every breath you take fall like candlelight onto the floor of your chest. This is the final chapter of the dream, and you are exactly where you need to be. We're walking again. But this time, the path is familiar. Smooth flagstones beneath your feet, a cool hush in the air and above you. Vaulted arches carved from time itself, the hallway curves, and at its end, a door of ironwood stands ajar. A gentle light flickers from within you. Step forward and enter the alchemist's chamber once more. It hasn't changed, and yet it has. The glass orbs on the shelves still shimmer. The copper tools still glint. The soft scent of dried lavender and thyme still lingers. But now the old alchemist is gone in his place. A single chair faces the hearth, still warm, still glowing with embers. One of them pulses slightly brighter than the rest. As if holding a goodbye, you step closer and something quiet happens in your chest. Not sadness, not joy, just fullness, the kind that comes after understanding, after receiving, after resting. On the small wooden table beside the chair, you find a note, not ink, not parchment, but etched into a round piece of glass, smooth and warm to the touch. You lift it and hold it to the light, and you see not words, but shapes, symbols, images. A garden gate swinging slowly. A glass globe shimmering under moonlight. A lantern floating above still water. A vault of sleeping winds. And finally, a clock whose hands point to silence. You realize this is your map, your dream map, etched not by a cartographer, but by the alchemist, whose work was never about potions or metals, but about memory, sleep, and the soul. You sit in the empty chair and feel its warmth fold around you like a shawl. You close your eyes, and the soft hush of the room deepens. The embers in the hearth crackle. One final ember glows, especially bright, then dims, not out of life, but out of need. Its work is done, and so is yours. You have journeyed through every corridor of stillness. You have passed through light and time, winds and memory, names and unfinished dreams. You have touched rest, not as a visitor, but as a keeper. Outside, the stars have grown. Not louder, not brighter, just closer, as if they too have come to rest, made not away, but within. There is no door to close, no chapter to end. Only softness, only breath, only the gentle hush of sleep settling into your bones like snow on quiet rooftops. And as your final thought flickers like the last ember, you realize something precious, something simple and whole. You are the dream now, and the dream is at peace. Good night, sleep well, you are home.